If you haven't helped yourself to a cupcake, or Rudy, you haven't helped yourself to 5 already, feel free to get a cupcake, because I'm going to be mentioning them later. Those specific cupcakes. So I wanted to start off with a poem that basically it's an exchange. It's a poem that was written by my mother to my grandmother. And it's dated May 11th, 1979. And that's kind of just to honor them, because I wish they could be here tonight. So this poem is called Fantasy. Yeah? I'd gather rainbows and tie them in bunches with liquid silver and homespun gold, just to make you smile. When you say I wish, I'd capture all the stars and hold them, warm and glowing, tight in my hands, just to see their light reflect in your eyes. I'd even release my soul, the very life that warms my breath, and let it join you through all space and time, just to say I love you. Happy Mother's Day. So this one doesn't really have a title other than, I call it the church poem, because here's why. So my best friend, Carla and I, we've been friends since we were 2. She calls me the other day, and she tells me that she's been feeling a void in her life, that she was seeking a connection and thought maybe a church would be the right direction. I knew instantly what she was talking about, this quest to find something greater than ourselves. I've known many a different religion, but I grew weary, and I wasn't quite sure why, until Fernando taught me that there are people in this world who look at Mother Earth's gifts of trees and see pitchforks. Calling on all saints for understanding, Bishop Neruda Hughes. My testimony, thanks to Missionary Dan for introducing me, guiding me to this lyrical transcendence, got me feeling like I found a higher form of repentance. Standing with Marcia when questioning what if poetry is meant to transform us. That line hit me like a ton of bricks, like I'd been touched by a TV evangelist. Ready to shed the superficial way of thinking as a sacrifice. Got me closing my eyes, speaking in tongues, because I'll start writing not always sure where it's coming from. Friday's Leisure Life poems remind me that it's not always fire and brimstone. Take some time to live in the moment, appreciating this moment, for it's not eternal, by definition. But in poetry, we're not about definitions, are we? We're more about interpretations and perceptions, ready to receive enlightenment from another one of y'all's lines, under this dark sky that watches over us, only fitting for its darkness asks us to dig deeper, question more, no matter how long it's been. Friar Phil's always forgiving. I know how hard it can be to believe in something we can't see, going through life, putting hands out for the tangibilities. Right here is where I put my heart out for the possibilities, allowing my soul to be raptured by a higher plane of processing and what I think I know about this reality. I invite you to let your heart do the same. So Dwayne's not here tonight, but as Dwayne's getting his hat ready to pass, get your dollar bills out or Doris will kick your ass. So thanks for being my church, guys. So this one's titled Madia. Everything about my posture is ambivalent. Steps are heavy, not sure if I'm ready, but I'm doing it. Making my move, stepping off this block, glancing back as if expecting to get caught, remembering to brace myself for this same steam that's pushed me to my dreams. Guess I'm on that Shel Silverstein. This is where this sidewalk ends for me. Walking away from the barrio that made me, and yeah, they gon' hate me. Call me bougie for my rhetoric, no respect to the struggle to stay ahead of it. So what's it gonna be, beach house or tenements? Sum it up to knock it down, that's all you ever do anymore. Kept you around as an homage, but this ain't worth it anymore. You hurt too much, and I can't turn back. I try to paint the picture, but your rebuttal is just sad facts. I'm gone and you're stuck, and there's no turning back. Just moving forward to this hectic life where downtime is spent deducing which wine pairs well with this attitude. I say, Cuvée pairs well with it all. No response. Ensconced on blood orange plush of a wine boutique's porch furniture, feeling like a kept Southern belle beneath elaborate brackets that make wood emulate lace. We proved we can do it better with our limbs and newfound extensions, bulbous glass filled with cuvee. And even though I found a way and got away just to get away, I still like to find a way to hide away in some feelings of yesterdays gone by, sticky fingers made by orange hostess cupcakes, cream filling smeared frosting clumps pair well with corner liquor store suavitel smells and norteño rhythms, something only you know just as well. Lost in the translation from barrio to bougie, moments that take me back to times when only you knew me, that homage, a devotion to the nostalgia in our relationship, a far cry from where we used to be. Home for a visit, find it all new to me. This life, how it changes me. Hasta vernos. Amber street lights shine down on blanched mural, backdrop to Mama and her tres chavitos, blinking slowly at a post, decorated with silk flowers and baby blue ribbons. Little man dreams up his first tattoo. Hasta vernos de nuevo, till we meet again. Till we meet again. Now, every time I drive by that post, I make a sign of the cross and I swear I see your ghost. No catching up no matter how many times I drive up and down this coast. You'd want it that way, Sam. Say, damn, for doing a lot, you sure be doing the most. Years caught in subtle tears as these drives get lengthy. No home but the open road, and Mom's is all worried. She lost one son, doesn't want to lose another. But to be back is to expect you, the way I knew you. I feel like I'm still losing you. Hasta vernos de nuevo. So much pressure. Thanks.
Your pressure.
No pressure.
So, this poem is titled Apparently, and I'm going to go ahead and read the epigraph, and then I'd invite you to check out this picture with me while I read the poem. So the epigraph is by W.S. Merwin. Your absence has gone through me like thread through a needle. Everything I do is stitched with its color. Apparently. Apparently, it was once called San Buenaventura, which gave way to Ventura. I'm guessing because it was easier to pronounce. I don't care what your friends call you. I know your real name, your birth name, the name you went with, the name you adopted during your rebellious stage, even the nickname your mama gave you to prove she wasn't all that bad. No coincidence that they all end in A, like cultura. For culture is the lens we see through, or so says Dr. Casas. I wish you could meet him, my own Paulo Cajuelo, my own alchemist. Yeah, I know the real you, but that wasn't enough, so we parted ways and kaleidoscope nights gave way to gray days. Thus I went through this phase where I thought everything was a sign. Your car would drive by, is that you? Try to forget with the first date. A rare song would twinkle into the ambiance, your favorite. Are you here? Looking over my shoulder, standing on my tiptoes, until I saw that signs are just coincidences in disguise, merely coincidences. And now you're thousands of California coast miles gone by, like a gonzo highway through a Dolly sand timer, gone and maybe not. Because I sit here in this church of mine, wishing the real you could witness this, my own alchemy, soaking in the beautiful art and energizing my spirit, my multitasking eyes relaxing on the photograph behind the poets, and there, in the most unlikely of places, you are. Makes no sense, really. No Californian during the age of black and white would name their building that. But why care? With a name like that, you don't fuck around. This poem's about you, the last poem's about you. I want every poem to be about you. Even if I'm writing a poem about dodging taxes, I want that shit to be a metaphor for every time I dodged your eyes whenever you asked what's her name. I want the guilt to sink in when it's realized there was no other name. Just an unacceptance of a condition unknown, but you weren't down for no pills. Intuitively feeling how this is incomplete. I breathe deeply and try to compete. But how to compete when they rich and just as rich with exoticism? Funny how out in London her Mexican was desired, but out here it's just tired. So men, they stick their dirty paper to her skin, but only if she says it's Venezuelan. And the customer's always right, so that's where she is every night. While I'm plucking wings off roses, because I'll never leave and she knows this. Counting these out with simple math, running her bath so that when she comes back she has somewhere to relax. Washing away the dirty prints embossed in the crevices. I find it hard to stay ahead of this. With each day that goes by, I act out the truth, but keep up with my lie. It's finally too exhausting. This pseudo-reality is too costly. To the last straw, you gotta pay up to live falsely. Broken down, I bear it all, and this dust that just won't settle. Don't tell me no, because I've seen it, ungreedy, lavishing in the simple, low-wattage life. Not every moth wants to thrash itself against the fluorescent lighting, singeing antennae, thorax following momentum to reverberating, sweltering glass before the fall. Sending microscopic scales flying, catching light in the essence of dust, more dust accumulating on countertops, shelves, and linoleum grooves, next to, on top of, noir, intense mascara clumps. I saw one lie flatly on the wall that night, basking in the warmth of comfort, living its days in my wool sweaters and its nights next to my Himalayan crystal lamp. Learn this, be aware, you can choose something else. I spent too much time crashing into others, hoping I'd find a home in the falling. Now there's you and there's us. Gratitude swells, releasing itself through exhales of comfort, living my days in your weavings of adoration and my nights in the glow of that Himalayan crystal lamp. Your soft breath giving rhythm to my bed, reminding me of this gratitude and releasing my addition to your rhythm. Sweet songs will be as my love, and for that I give my all. Text sent in attempt to explain what it feels like to be one half of us, comparing this to magic, because it's just as unexplainable, just as mysterious, this divine turbulence that is us. Let it save us, for among us is our creation, our creed to one another. I will be this if you will be you with me. Just don't leave me, because there could be so much healing, cathartic cleaning out the grooves in the bathroom linoleum of your noir, intense mascara. Clumps that don't come out with these, but what's a little elbow grease between lovers? What's the point of hiding when you don't mind being discovered? Which is to say, caught doesn't exist when you're doing nothing wrong. Open introductions just to make things clear. Are you in this because you want, or you just stay out of fear? Don't break this heart just because you've never seen one like it. Standing in authenticity, not knowing other ways, offer me something and I'll remain the same, keeping true to this divinity that has brought me to you, this gratitude. Lindsay, thank you. Everyone, so this is my little cheer team here. I have my sister and my mom who drove down from the Bay Area, my girlfriend Lindsay, and my best friend Ashton who drove up from Camarillo. So they're all here. That's probably why you didn't recognize them. And my mentor over here, Lyra, she's a mentor to me, and Rudy. I love you guys. Thank you so much for coming out. John, I really appreciate it too. Like all the nights that we spent on that workshop with Ron. Too bad Ron couldn't be here tonight, but he sends his best wishes, I said. So, continuing, I have a few more. How much time I didn't even really know. We're good. All right, so this one's called Generation IG. Waking to cracked, dry throat. Reaching for anything liquid, mouth agape with many plumes spilling out in puffs like volcano ash from a forgotten Mount Saint whatever. Like an overstuffed king pillow ripped open with a jagged hunting knife of an aborigine who never called it Mount Saint whatever, instead just lived. And here you are, just trying to live, but you don't get to in your mountain of pillows and dreams of a reality you once knew. A hand-blown glass from that trip you boasted about on Instagram is filled with water, gently offered by the hand of the luckiest thing that ever happened to you. Do you know how to appreciate this? Does it sink into your being like the first time your tongue lapped at that frozen sugary cream Mom so aptly named ice cream just for you to get it? Absorb this newness and accept it as the best moment of your life thus far. All right. So this one Oh, you know what? I need to step back a moment. When I was reading the Apparently poem, I mentioned something in this photograph. Can anybody guess what it was? Because if you can, there's a prize for you. Do you remember? I totally forgot to point that out. What's that? Yeah! Good job. Yeah, that was the one. All right. So let's see, drunk. Okay, so this one's titled Drunk Dial, because I was picturing how sorry, the prize is just another one of my poems. You're welcome. Surprise.
That's a good prize.
So this one I wanted to just picture I felt like, I don't know if I wrote it, because sometimes I write poems and I forget when I actually wrote them. So this poem, I'm picturing that I wrote it while I was drunk or something, and instead of sending a drunk text, I decided that I was going to write a drunk poem. So it's called The Drunk Dial. Doing the dead man's float in a fishbowl of kava, bubbling up slurring words, you heard me, nada. My backstroke's getting better, but it's never good enough. This is no metaphor, and I'm fresh out of plutonium. Sometimes you gotta play the part even when it pays nothing, exponentially. Nothing surprises you anymore. It's all the same, whether here or in Barcelona. Did their lisps remind you of a selfish 16th century king? Did you find your tongue dancing the same? I hardly noticed. Fooled all the while, you make no sense. So just keep it to yourself. When was the last time you kissed with your eyes open? I stopped when I saw that they all looked the same. Not you.
What's the label on the stuff that you're drinking?
It was rubbed off.
Good.
Yesterday you left, and I'm still thinking about how I heard something you said for the first time. Don't cry because you'll make me start crying. How do I fix that? This 5-year-old brain not knowing how that worked, or why do you want to leave to a place called Guam? Made a 5-year-old decision and figured it had something to do with guacamole. The definition of home to me is someplace I want to be, so take me there, because I sure don't want to be here. Thing is, I don't even know what that would look like, so I picture a place with pink clouds and your face, and say your name over again, till the salt in my tears makes my throat raw. Have you ever repeated a word so much it lost meaning? I know what it means, but I'm numb to it, so I say your name has lost meaning, like I've forgotten you, furthest from the truth. Your laugh wakes me up, and your smile is there when I scrape my knee. Kissing away my tears, I fall into pink clouds with you, saying your name over again, till the tears collect at my chin and drip into the sink. Clenched eyes refuse to open to the same image with no solution. I wish someone could come fix this. Maybe that's why I want to fix things all the time. If I stop crying, will I fix it? I don't want to just help. I want to fix it. Make everything about it better, happier. I want to love it because I'm not supposed to love you. Secret calls, secret updates, overheard, finer. So I did, and there you were. With the daughter you got to keep. I hope she knows how lucky she is. All right. And then this one's from my dad. It's not part of that series of 3. I was going to do that long one, and then I opted out. I got pulled over the other day. I wasn't even asked for my social security number, and I am not supposed to notice, y'all, but I noticed, and I thanked my father for giving me his dream. Dinner table introductions facing my date's mom, wincing at elongating tongues, attempting to wrap around Spanish R, quickly followed by another. I explained the trick in how to roll the tongue till it doesn't feel the same, and I thanked my father for giving me his name. So I sat there with pulque searing the lining of my belly while my vision became blurred with tears, letting the boisterous prowess of a ballad from a woman with a mariachi skirt ring in my ears, lifting my skin in bumps by hair follicles, and I thanked my father for giving me his culture. And I would stand before him any day of my life to dedicate this poem, or any of my words, really. To the man of little words, thank you for giving me your voice. And this is the last one. It's the last one. If I could find it, I don't even remember how it started. This is a poem about my bike. Riding my bike, the thrill of the risk, the freedom in the ride, but my favorite part, the change in atmosphere felt when riding through a variety of fronts, drops and shifts, temperature and humidity, riding through an orchard on a sticky, humid day. Take in hot fruit, each breath thinking, smells like tejuino. The reason they don't give fresh fruit in prison, toilet bowl moonshine, peasant moonshine and Mexican, sold on street corners out of makeshift carts in big cities as novelty. Cart pusher looks interested buyers in the eye, urging them to partake in a piece of their own past. Don't forget where you came from, says the modern-day peasant. Just because you made it don't mean we're not cloth made from the same cotton your daddy and my brother picked, like forgotten slave labor, swept under the appropriated sarape, turned floor adornment for House of America. Like all high houses, America's no naive schoolgirl when it comes to exploitation chic. Black-faced, yellow-faced, red-faced, lined silk pockets imprinted with hues of red and blue, with room left for your stars and your stripes, but no room for you, Juan. Not till next season. But leave your wife. We'll make tragic mulattoes and they'll do just fine in hypodescent. After all, Jim Crow is dead. Thanks. Thank you. Seriously, thank you guys for having this space, and thank you for inviting me and taking me in. I really, really appreciate it. I feel like it's inspired me, and like the poem was saying, it encourages me to like keep going and all, and I really appreciate that from all of you, seriously. I don't think I have any other poems. Yeah. I mean, even coming up here, I was like finishing some poems. I think that even though I had, 3 months notice, there's just some poems that, some of them were easy, but other ones, it's like tying them into how my relationship with the people, maybe let's say from back home, how our relationships have evolved since then, and how tough it is to to still keep connected. And I think that sometimes it's just so hard to articulate that and have it be real, but then readable, if that makes any sense. Because sometimes I'm just like, well, I'd like to write this, but then it would just be for me. And sometimes, and if I have notebooks full of just for me, so there's that. But thank you again. I really appreciate it.